A reminder, subscribe to this channel and then click notifications. That's it. Let's get to the video. I keep things short. We've seen what happens when gasoline consumption drops dramatically. The results clearly look good. Here's a good-looking way to keep it that way as things return to normal: the 2020 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. Like the gas-only version, this is a handsome sedan. Coca-Cola's lawyers might want to take a good, hard look at the swoopy Swage line. This four-door is about as efficient as Toyota's Prius, and proof that gas-electric vehicles don't need to look like budget sci-fi movie props. When you stop and think about it, there are more hybrid sedans than you might imagine at first. Honda has the Insight and Accord. Kia sells a hybrid version of the Optima. Toyota has a bunch of them: Corolla, Avalon, and Camry. And Ford still sells the Fusion, so if you hurry, you can still get a hybrid version of that one. Would love to see Hyundai put hybrid powertrains in crossovers, since that's what's selling in droves, but that's off topic. What you see here is the top trim limited model. The best way to figure that out is its unique solar panel roof. Engineers say as long as it sees the sky, it can juice the battery to add 2 miles of daily range. In some cases, Hyundai claims it can generate 309 kilowatt hours annually. That's enough for about 1,200 miles. Sonata was available as a hybrid and plug-in hybrid in the past. No more plug-in going forward. This second-generation system pairs a 150 horsepower 2-liter four-cylinder to a 51-horse electric motor for total system power of 192 horses. On startup, there's a slight whir and that piano flourish, though sometimes when you're checking your phone to see if milk, bread, and Purell needs to be picked up on the way home, the engine will just kick on. Most manufacturers use continuously variable transmissions in hybrids. Hyundai installs a 6-speed. Active shift control uses the electric drive motors to sync the rotation speeds of the engine and transmission for quicker gear shifts. It's supposed to improve acceleration, fuel economy, and transmission durability because of reduced friction during cog swaps. And as you see, there are driving modes that change transmission and throttle dynamics and graphics. The lithium-ion battery pack is now under the back seat. It used to be in the trunk. It shouldn't surprise anybody that off the line, this is not a rocket ship. It's about fuel efficiency. But, you know, in city driving, it's perfectly fine. A light throttle foot would keep the gas engine from firing up as quick, though to me, it seems Hyundai brings the 4 cylinders power on earlier compared to Toyota. I'll estimate 0 to 60 happens in just under 9 seconds. For the ultimate inefficiency, you're going to want to go with the Sonata Hybrid Blue model that has an E.P.A. rated average of 52 miles per gallon. This limited is rated at 47, which is still pretty good. And to be really honest with you, I think that's kind of pessimistic because I'm easily seeing 50 and I'm not trying at all. Blue models are nearly 200 pounds lighter. This limited weighs in at 3,500. For hypermilers, graphics show what the powertrain is doing. All hybrids get active aero grille slats and a different rear spoiler, though you'll see these microfins on all models. Sonata Hybrid is most efficient on the highway, whereas Camry Hybrid does best in town. Maybe consider your driving environment when buying. Or design? That could be a tiebreaker. Let's talk about pedal modulation. The transition from regenerative braking to the actual physical disc brakes can be a little tricky for a manufacturer to dial in. These are a little grabby up top, so stopping smoothly requires a little bit of concentration. Without a standard Sonata on hand to compare, it's hard to know how much quicker transmission shifts are with active shift control technology, but it's more refined than the first generation hybrid. This feels much like a regular gas powertrain car, with an exceptionally smooth automatic engine start-stop system. And active shift control does a very nice job in eco and smart mode. It feels like a very well done 6-speed geared transmission, not a continuously variable unit that most hybrids use. Those can get kind of rubbery and elasticy. But in sport mode, the shifts are a little bit less smooth. Like the gas-only Sonata, the Hybrid is comfortable and quiet. Extra insulation in the floor and doors, plus acoustical glass for the front windows and windshield help keep the din down. I point that out because from the outside, there's a distinctive motor whine that can be heard in the distance. In the handling department, Sonata Hybrid does not disappoint. It corners well, and it gets 50 miles to the gallon. If you're splitting hairs, yeah, go with, say, Mazda 6 or Honda Accord. But really, this does pretty well. And of those two, only the Accord gets a hybrid powertrain. This car naturally rounds turns better than the first generation because of weight distribution. The heavy battery is pushed ahead of the rear wheels now, rather than hanging behind them. Limited's camera system shows blind spots when using the turn signals. Remember those? Turn signals? Maybe that would encourage people to use those. As far as drive modes go, the throttle response off the line in sport mode is overly touchy for my tastes anyways. There is a smart mode, it's aptly named, it's, well, smart. It seems to keep things much smoother when you're driving around. Hyundai's suite of active electronic safety tech, dubbed SmartSense, is standard. That's automatic emergency braking with pedestrian and cyclist detection, adaptive cruise control with stop and go, and rear cross traffic avoidance. Limited gets advanced highway driving assist, and that keeps Sonata very well centered in its lane without drifting. Good stuff. Other than the gauge cluster, the Hybrid's cockpit looks pretty much the same as any other Sonata, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's an airy space with decent visibility. Materials look good to the eye, elbows get cushioning, fingers slide comfortably into the releases. Ambient lighting, that I didn't get a good shot of, snakes through the cabin. The seats, with moderate bolstering, should be good for a wide range of driver's sizes. They're warmed and vented, and the steering wheel is heated too. The solid Bose sound system offers up more than just music and talk radio. The atmospheres are in stereo. I get enough of this outside the car in Seattle. Sonata is available with digital key tech. You can leave the fob at home and use a smartphone to unlock and start the car. One thing not available with the Hybrid model is Smart Park. Hyundai showed it off at the gas-only event that it had in Arizona. It's a great feature. Too bad it's not on the Hybrid. And that Super Bowl ad was so great, nobody's going to call it Smart Park. It'll always be Smart Park. Parked it in Hopkinton. As far as the all-important user interface goes, Hyundai does a commendable job keeping the touchscreen responsive and well-organized, but if you're the kind of driver that wants a console control knob, you're out of luck here. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are standard. So, with the battery back there, does it take away any space? Seems to be the same size as the regular Sonata. We're both 5'9", though I tend to be the better looking of the two. Space is generous back here. Head, knee, foot, and legroom, all good, plus door openings are wide enough so that car seats go in and out, no sweat. Plus, the cushions are high enough so that thigh support is excellent, so win there. There are built-in sunshades, another win. But really, just one pocket? Why? Why do companies do that? This is the Limited, but there are no heated seats back here. Well, at least I can charge my phone. The center spine isn't too big. The cushions are contoured very nicely, so they're comfortable. And they're wide enough so that you can get 3 adults in here, but, not if you're going cross-country. Across town, that's just fine. I'm surprised Evil Twin didn't mention there's no sunroof option on the Hybrid. Definitely not on the Limited with the solar panel roof. You can set Sonata's trunk lid to open up automatically by simply standing next to it for a few seconds with the proximity key in your pocket or purse, handy when you have your hands full. Now, I am not doing the TP trunk test, but I thought this was appropriate. Sonata is a musical term, so why not a trunk full of instruments? Really, you could still throw an electric bass, some mics, and a couple small amps in here. Drummers, you're on your own, but that's nothing new. Since the battery is now under the seat, the cargo hold is larger by 2.5 cubic feet for a total of 16. Unlike the Blue model that's trying to save weight, this gets a spare tire. There are remote releases, but the backs don't drop automatically. Maybe keep a guitar on hand because it's quite a reach. The trunk is pretty deep. If I were doing the TP trunk test, I'm sure I could get 6 packs in here, maybe 7, pushing it a bit. It's big.
It would be fun to get a band back together. As you can tell, I'm more of a keyboardist. Missing a string here.
Sonata is a svelte machine. It looks like it's ready to pounce. The seam that normally runs across the hood has been eliminated. Fender height is low for a lean look, and the DRLs look like chrome at rest. The gradient lighting, done with microscopic laser-etched patterning, is a slick touch, one that's not found on cars twice the price. I always like the racetrack on the back of the Dodge Charger. This is nearly as good. The Hybrid gets unique aero wheels and different front fascia. It's more aerodynamic than the 2 main competitors, Camry and Accord hybrids.
Try to drive away without your seatbelts fastened, and the emergency brake does not release. Besides, you really want to wear these. As an ex-news photographer, I've seen what happens when you don't wear them. It's pretty gruesome.
Unlike some automakers, Hyundai continues to push sedans. Its business plan is to make them so appealing, shoppers will gravitate its way to keep or even add market share. And I can see why anyone would buy the Sonata. Any Sonata. It does everything well and looks great doing it. The hybrid version just happens to help clear the air. That's something we can all enjoy. Special thanks to my wife, Mariko, for driving so I can shoot running footage. My advantage during shelter in place is that I've always shot, written, and edited my own stuff. She doesn't like cameras, so I kind of tricked her to get this shot. That's why she's not smiling. Told her I was just doing an audio check. As many of you know, Mariko's not a car person, so she deserves all the donuts, Dairy Queen, and chocolate cake I can bribe her with. It takes much longer to produce these videos nowadays. She's very patient. And Martin Campbell, he's doing just fine. Gotta say, I miss getting coffee and catching up. The small things we take for granted.
That is my look at the 2020 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. Hope you found it informative or mildly entertaining. A reminder, subscribe to this channel and click notifications. That really helps support me. Also, I'm on Twitter, so you can connect with me there. Do it before you forget, okay? That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk.